Usually I will discover a new show, then watch it to the hilt and backtrack 7 or 8 series, and that takes quite a while. But for some reason, over the last kind of 2 or 3 weeks, I've discovered 3 or 4 new British comedy shows, and they've been quite short, they've been quite new shows, and therefore they haven't taken me that long to watch. So I thought, while these 4 are kind of fresh in my mind, now would be a pretty perfect time to do my current comedy favourites. So I will be mentioning some comedian favourites in here, but that's within the context of these programmes. For example, I'm very much into Kerry Godliman, but none of these are her shows, although she is in one of them. There are a lot of other comedians that I adore. However, we're going to focus specifically on the TV shows just now. And the first one is Ultimate Worrier, Jon Richardson. I love Jon Richardson, who doesn't? Ultimate Worrier is a panel show without the panel, more of a chat show really, in which Jon Richardson talks to a couple of comedians about things that he's worried about, and then they have to try and rank them. That sounds dull, the way I've described it. I promise it's not. It is very funny. Obviously, like any comedy-based chat show, it does rely on quality guests. But I feel that there were some amazing... In fact, Kerry Godliman was in this one as well. There are some amazing comedians taking part in this. And there is one particular episode, which if I remember, I will try and find a link on their YouTube channel. The video does exist online, to what can only be described as the most hilarious thing I've ever seen. If you take 2 of my favourite comedians and put them in charge of a comedy show, I'm going to watch it. Hypothetical is a bit amazing. This is hosted by Josh Widdicombe with James Acaster making the rules, and we have 2 teams of 2, and they're pitched hypothetical situations, and they have to say how they respond to that situation, and the team with the best answer wins. And there are some VTs showing of things James Acaster has done. In one he went to a boxing, in one he met a teacher, Josh Widdicombe's teacher. It's a lot of fun, and the fact that it's hypothetical means that you never know what they're going to say, and you never know what's going to come out of James Acaster's mouth, which is the way I like it. I'm going to save my last recommendation until the end, because I expect a lot of people will groan at me and roll their eyes. So in 3rd place, in no real order, is Heresy. This is actually a radio show. I go to a lot of radio recordings. I don't actually listen to that much comedy on the radio, but I do go to a lot of comedy recordings. And Heresy is hosted by Victoria Coren Mitchell, who I love, and I'll be honest, just listening to her intonations and her diction is absolutely beautiful. And that's one of my favourite things about the show. But we have 2 teams of 2 again, and they have to argue for or against something. There's a little bit of audience participation going on there. It's a very mixed bag of things. And some of the things they argue against or for are ludicrous, like arguing against having pets, and other things that I can't really remember at this time. Arguing against Donald Trump being allowed on Twitter. It's sometimes ludicrous, but always really fascinating and really makes you think, and above all, it's very funny. And finally, I have watched the first series of Taskmaster. I know, I'm absolutely disgusted in myself for having not watched this. It's one of, I'd say, the most popular comedy panel show, game show, kind of, I don't know how it would be categorised, comedy shows currently on in Britain. And I think the reason I didn't watch it initially is because I don't have Dave. I don't have a TV. I watch everything on Catch Up and iPlayer and things. And I didn't realise that UK TV had episodes of Taskmaster. I've now seen the first series, which was Tim Key, Roisin Conaty, Josh Widdicombe, Romesh Ranganathan and Frank Skinner. Fantastic, absolutely loved it. That's where the programme could have a bit of an issue though. So for me, having those 5 across, I think, 6 episodes, a 6-episode series, hilarious, and I loved seeing them progress throughout it. But that's where the programme could fall. I haven't looked at who the guests are in the following series, but if there's anywhere, say, the guests, where maybe either one of them I just cannot stand, or maybe there are 3 or 4 where I'm just like, nah, not really bothered, you're not that funny for my personal preference, I'm not likely to watch it. And because it's the same guests for every episode of that series, that could be a problem. But hopefully it won't be for me. And I don't know, if you watch it and if you've come across a batch where you're not too happy and have just not bothered watching it, I'd be really interested to know. So they are my 4 current comedy favourites. I could also technically put Judge Rinder in here because I'm obsessed with Judge Rinder, and it's a very funny show, but it's not a comedy, and it's often very serious as well. But there are some funny Judge Rinder clips online if you're interested. I would of course love to know what comedy series you're into just now, and if there are any stand-ups who you absolutely love at the moment. I'm going to go and check out the second series of Taskmaster.